End of 2024 fleet update, and I currently have 5 Chevy Cobalts, 1 2007 Saturn Vue, and 1 1971 Dodge Charger. I'm going to start with this 2009 Chevy Cobalt. This is the first Cobalt I owned. I bought this brand new in 2009, and this car has been absolutely flawless the whole time I've owned it. The car currently has 358,827 miles on it. All right, I'm gonna go over some of the numbers real quick for this car, and really thick folder for this. This is the original window sticker with original MSRP of $16,200. And then here's my original purchase agreement. This is the original sales information for the Chevy Cobalt. I originally was going to go in for a Chevy Cobalt SS, but in 2009, the government offered a rebate program where if you traded in a car that got poor gas mileage in for a car that got better gas mileage, you get a rebate anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500. So in order to get the maximum $4,500 rebate, I had to get the Cobalt XFE version of it, which is the extended fuel economy. And because I got that one and traded in a Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, I got the full $4,500 rebate. And this is a copy of the purchase order. And when I bought this, I bought it when the Cash for Clunkers program was just announced by the government in 2009. And I got the car for $14,954. So I negotiated some money off the MSRP. And then with tax and document fee, I was out the door price of $16,028.49. But because I was one of the first people to take advantage of the program, they hadn't reduced the rebates, and they still were negotiating prices because the car sales were super slow at that time. And then when they started doing the Cash for Clunkers, they got rid of the rebates from Chevy and they stopped going down from the MSRP. But I got the full $4,500 government trade-in allowance for the most rebate they would give for the gas mileage difference, and then I got the full $2,500 rebate from Chevy, plus a little over $1,000 off the MSRP. So after all was said and done, my total into this car was $9,185.24. It would have cost me, I think the SS was going for about $5,000 or $6,000 more, but I wouldn't have gotten it as much of a, rebate from the government from the Cash for Clunkers program. So I went for the extended fuel economy Cobalt. I still wish I would have bought the SS, but this car has been a great car. I've upgraded the rims to a Chevy Cobalt, the SS rims with the 5-lug conversion, the SS bumper cover, SS rear bumper cover, did a ZZP rear sway bar, leather interior upgrade, power window conversion. This car has been absolutely flawless the whole time I've owned it. I've only had to do regular maintenance, and then of course I did some little upgrades, K&N cold air intake, ZZP, coil pack cover, billet aluminum oil filler cap, a strep brace, blacked out headlights, And I did a AEM multifunction OBD2 gauge. So my plans for this car for 2025 is I plan on putting on the SS side skirts, and then I'm going to look for a 09 to 2010 SS from the insurance auction, so I can pick up the 2.0 engine and all the wiring harness and do a complete SS conversion on this. I think when this thing hits 400,000 miles, even if I have no problems with it, it's the original timing chain and all the original components except for the water pump. So I do plan on rebuilding the engine probably when it hits about 400,000 miles. It's also the original clutch in there, so I plan on when I pull the engine out to replace the clutch. And the next car is a 2009 Chevy Cobalt. And this is a Chevy Cobalt LT. When I bought this car from the auction, it originally only had suspension damage. So I replaced all the front suspension, the steering rack, and this one has been a great car. I haven't driven this car hardly at all. I'm just really waiting for the perfect time to send it down the road. Let me give it a quick start, tell you the mileage, and then go over the paperwork. All right, this car has 130,262 miles on it. I did a Pontiac G5 instrument cluster upgrade, and I'm gonna put a leather interior in this car. I'm just not sure when I'm gonna get another parts car that has leather interior. But this is a beautiful running car. Good looking, and definitely going to get someone problem-free use for a good long time at 130,000 miles. This car is pretty much has break-in miles right now. And here's my file on this car. It looks like I did a $300 bid, $120 fee, pull fee, tax, all that. It came to $561 total fees out the door from the insurance auction, $125 tow, and then I did a headlight assembly, hood, wiring, gas. So I'm into this car at $877.22, and then to do the state patrol inspection on this car with the tow dolly and the truck I had to rent, I'm probably into this car maybe $1,200. So this was definitely a good deal. Great car. I'm gonna wait to bless someone with this car at some point. My next car is a 2006 Chevy Cobalt SS, and this one's fully loaded, leather interior, sunroof. Absolutely gorgeous car. The only thing about this car I don't like is it's an automatic, and the 2005, 2006 is not my favorite years. Currently has 120,134 miles on it. I bought this car from a older lady on Facebook Marketplace, and it had a bad engine in it. She said she took it to a quick lube place to have an oil change, and the car started making noises. By the time she got home, she had someone check it over and there was no oil in it. So either the drain plug was not screwed in correctly, or the oil filter cap wasn't screwed in correctly. Somehow she lost all the oil to the car, destroyed the engine. Everything else was in perfect shape. So I picked this one up, threw a new engine in it that I already had, and this one's been running flawlessly since I did that. It was a low mile engine. I don't know exactly how many miles it had on it, but I think right around 85,000. So this is a great car. Has SS rims. I did put in a Chevy Cobalt SS A-pillar trim with the boost gauge. At some point I'm going to switch that out to an AEM multi-function gauge cluster, and then I'm going to get a ZZP coil pack cover, ZZP billet aluminum oil filler cap, and probably a strut brace as well. And I like using this car for a backup car whenever I have to work on my daily driver. So I don't think I'm going to get rid of this anytime soon. I'm probably going to give this to my wife to drive as a daily if she wants it. So I originally bought this car for $600, and I already had the engine that I got from a parts car. So I'm into this one for a total of way less than $1,000 once I bought tune-up parts, new spark plugs, did a complete maintenance on it with spark plugs, oil filter, and completely went through the car. And I did replace the front seat. So this is an absolutely beautiful car. And my next car is this 2008 Pontiac G5 with a Chevy Cobalt bumper cover on it. I bought this car, originally had front end damage, so I replaced the hood and the bumper cover. Has good tires on it. I replaced the driver's side front seat because it was worn down, and I replaced the shifter knob and shifter boot. It already has the Pontiac G5 instrument cluster because that's what it is. Has the 2.2 liter engine in it, and this one does not have variable valve timing, just like the Saturn Vue. The SS 2.4 does have variable valve timing, and this was a $300 bid with $807 to the door. That's with the tow and all the auction fees, and with all the parts, I'm into this car $1,495, which honestly for this car is a little bit higher than I wanted to be into it for. But you know, sometimes you win with the prices, and sometimes you pay a little bit too much. In my area, most running cars in good condition are worth between $2,000 and $3,000 easily. If you want a quick sale, if you want to wait, you probably could get a little over $3,000 for a good running car. All right, check the mileage on this real quick. The current mileage is 166,785 miles. Starts right up. Car's in really great shape. It has a cracked windshield and some little trim issues. Really haven't had a chance to go through and do much to this car. And the only reason why I bought one of the reasons why I bought this car is because it was black and a 5-speed. I threw a low bid on it, and it happened to go through. And then I have a 2006 Chevy Cobalt, and this is my parts car. This is the car I pulled the engine out of for the SS. So this car is pretty much paid for itself, and just parts I've gotten off of it and sold. So that car I paid, I think $275. It was $500 after auction fees, and I think $625 to the door. So this car has really been a good car as far as parts, and it still has a ton of parts left. I was thinking about stripping everything down and just getting rid of the shell. I don't like it to have more than 5 cars in the yard, so this one will have to go as soon as I get another car. Tires are good, everything's still good on this car. And my last car is a 1971 Dodge Charger. This car I've owned since I was 15, and I drove it on a regular basis for many years. I used to buy and sell these, very similar to how I buy and sell Cobalts now. But once I bought the house and had a kid, I really parked this car, so I haven't driven it for about 30 years. Plan on getting this car up and running. It really feels like an abandoned car at this point. So I'm going to put automatic transmission fluid down the cylinders, let it soak for a while, try to turn it over, and I'm going to try to find a late model Hemi Charger, like a 06 to maybe 2015 Hemi Charger. Do a complete resto mod on it. But unfortunately, this used to be my pride and joy, and as you can tell, it is looks like the headliner's coming down, the dash is cracked. I used to keep this thing up meticulously, but the last one I sold it back in, I think it was 98, 97. I needed the front seats out of it, so I pulled the front seats, and then when I parked it, I really had let it sit ever since 98 to now. In 2025 I plan on bringing this one back to life. That is my fleet update for 2024. And the future projects I have planned for 2025. My project I'm most excited about is finding an SS and doing the complete SS upgrade. I really regret not buying a Cobalt SS back in 09, even though I got such a great deal on this one. Still would have been more enjoyable to drive an SS all these years. And this car here is what got me inspired to buy all the Cobalts that I currently have. So if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. At the end of this video, I'm going to have some channel analytics. So if you're interested in that kind of things, stay tuned to the very end, and I'll go over just my subscriber count and how many views I've gotten to this point.